It's recording now.
Welcome back to That Stupid Dating Show.
This is you. You start them.
Welcome back to That Stupid Dating Show. Michelle and Rain coming back at you here. We got a guest tonight, and we are literally going to call her right now. And go. Oh, my God.
Tanya's not online.
Really? Tanya's not online.
She's okay. Well, you know what? Kill some time.
Welcome, Tonya, to That Stupid Dating Show. Michelle here found you,
She kind of found me.
You guys found each other somehow. You crossed paths, and you have your own dating podcast. So basically, when we bring people on, it's like, tell us your age, relationship status, what you do for a living, this, that, blah, 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 you know. So tell us about yourself, and then we'd like to hear about your podcast, too.
Yep. So my name is Tonya. I am 48. I am single. I have not joined the world of online dating yet. Well, I have in the past, but I've taken a year off. After crappy relationships, I take a year off to sort of regroup and work on myself.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my year off. And then I'm also a freelance paralegal. So I work with attorneys who need extra help for cases. And that's what I do.
Okay. Where are you from? Well, I don't think we talked about that earlier.
So I split my time between the East Coast and Colorado. Okay. So I spend equal amounts of time in both places. So okay. At the moment, I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
What part?
So I'm in Wilmington.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you're right up the road, we should have done this better.
Yeah, right. My aunt used to live in Wilmington.
I go through, you guys are in Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
I go through Wilmington or Charlotte a lot when I fly to Denver because there are very few nonstop flights.
Yeah.
The east from North Carolina, unless you go through Raleigh. So I'm in Charlotte a lot. So maybe one day we'll get together and have a beer.
Yeah, yes. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, I have a sister in Sneeds Ferry.
Sneeds. I didn't know what you were about to say.
Ferry.
Sneeds. Anyways.
Well, okay. So I wrote a couple questions because I'm prepared here and I'm the woman of the podcast. So shocker. So how did you start your podcast? What got you wanting to do one?
So I went to a women's empowerment conference in the beginning of 2020 where I think half of us came back with COVID. And we were all sitting around drinking, having seafood, as you do, complete strangers. There were 8 of us in a Airbnb, and we were all talking about what it was like dating in Colorado. And one was from Maine and one was from Kansas City. And so we were sitting around talking, and they're like, oh, you should do a blog about your dating experiences. It would be so entertaining. And then somebody was like, no, do a podcast. And so I took a couple years to sort of stew about it and think about it, and then launched it. Took last year off because some life happened. Mm-hmm. And then I'm relaunching it now. But it came about because we were all sitting around drinking margaritas over seafood in Florida in 2020.
Everything good happens over margaritas. I don't know.
I've never liked margaritas.
That's why nothing good's happening to you.
I'm as white as they come.
Okay, and so I guess that's what kind of made you choose dating as the topic. You kind of answered my next question in that answer. Because, I mean, I didn't start this. This one over here started this. I just kind of joined in later by accident.
Yeah, Michelle was a past guest at one time, and then out of the blue, she reached out to me about somebody that she thought would be great for the podcast, and then, boom, here she is.
Here I am.
Yeah. So
I figured talk about what I know, and I know being a paralegal, and I know about dating because I've done so much of it. Mm-hmm. And so my goal for swipe left or right is the name of the podcast. Mm-hmm. I want to talk to people around the country, what it's like dating in Wyoming versus what it's like dating in Kentucky. Each area has their own little expertise. Mm-hmm. And so I want to talk to people from all over the country about what it's like dating in their area. So that's the premise.
And you have the man's perspective of dating in the area and then the woman's perspective of dating in the area. So that's pretty cool, actually.
So aside from, like margaritas and stuff, like what makes you so interested in dating?
So really, ultimately, I would like to find a partner. I've had some really crappy relationships in the past. And like most of us, I've done organic dating and I've done online dating and I've had friends set me up. And so I think it's just an interesting topic that so many people
Relate to? Yeah.
That's right. We don't actually have control over I'm a widow. That's how I end up being single. I was married for 14 years and then I became a widow a while ago. And so I was thrown into online dating and the dating world against my will, sort of. My therapist actually told me I had to start dating.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how long ago did you become a widow?
It has now been 12 years, 13 years.
Okay.
So actually, I think in August it'll be 15 years.
So you were only like 35. You are my age.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Our age. I'm only 36.
You're
You act
older
like
than
I'm
me. Nope. She
40
was
years older
35.
than
I'm
you.
35.
Yeah. No, it's been a while. So I have 15 years. Well, and 3 of those I was in grief. So
Yeah.
I don't really count those. But so I probably have 10 years of dating experience of long-term dating. I dated somebody for 2 years and then like a couple of weeks and then months. So I think I have a lot of experience in dating. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but here we are.
Well, that did lead into my next question because I know the answer because we've already talked about it. But what is the most amount of dates you've had in 1 year?
So I moved to Denver in 2015 and I went on 150 first dates in 2015. So basically it was a full-time job for me.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And out of those, it doesn't have to be those in particular. It can be any of them. What was the worst one? We always got to start with the worst.
I developed a couple of stalkers out of
I would say out of 150, you'd probably get a couple good stalkers.
Yes, I had one show up at my work a couple of times, and I had to let my security know that no bueno. I had one. I went on a couple of dates with him, and then on the third date, he brought his daughter to the date, and that was interesting. I was like, I don't think we're at the point of introducing each other to our kids.
Nope.
Do you have kids?
Pardon?
Do you have kids?
I do, but mine is 28.
Okay.
And so I always think that it's a little bit different when you have older kids versus younger kids.
Definitely, yeah.
Because there's no chance of you telling my daughter what to do or enforcing curfew. Like those things don't apply.
Yeah.
And I've been a step parent a couple of times, pseudo step parents. And so I've been in those relationships where there are younger children involved. And so I'm a firm believer there needs to be a discussion that it's a relationship that is going to progress to the point of meeting children. You just don't spring, hey, here's my daughter, let's go to McDonald's.
Yeah, the person I'm with now, we've been together for 4 months. I just met his daughter, who's 16, and he has not met my son, who's 13. So it's just not, but.
So 150, go ahead.
Dates. I just have one was pretty upfront. He said he was just looking for somebody to be a mom to his daughter because mom was no longer in the picture. I appreciated his honesty. I did have a first date at a Burger King.
Oh.
That was.
Did you have it your way?
Yeah! Look at you go! Fuck yeah! I just spit. That was awesome. She learns quick. Holy shit, that was great.
that. So totally entertained when I tell people that, and that's the reaction I get.
You're really proud of yourself now.
No, your reaction.
It was awesome. I would have never thought of that. That was great.
That's because I'm good like that.
I forgot
okay,
what the fuck we were talking about.
I gotta know more about this first date at Burger King. Like, did he
Oh, yeah.
tell you guys were going to Burger King?
So the backstory is he had planned the date. So when I moved to Denver, I didn't know anybody. And the whole point I didn't set out to do 150 first dates. It was to meet people, to find a partner, and to explore the city and sort of find my favorite bar and coffee shop and things like that. And so when people just kept inviting me out, I'm like, sure. Not really my type, but then I was married for so long that I was like, I don't really know what my type is. So let's just say yes to a lot. Not all, because there were some I said to, but
Yeah, don't say yes to all of them.
So,
Hold on, she's telling us.
I'm bad.
I'm just going to say that originally we were going to meet at a coffee shop, but he didn't do a lot of research, and the coffee shop closed at 3:00, and our date was planned for 5:00.
Oh, damn.
And so
Burger King was open.
My Jeep broke down that morning, so I had to have it towed to the shop. So I took an Uber to the date, which isn't a big deal. And I jokingly said to the Uber driver, because it was in a sketchy part of Denver, that please remember what my face looked like. So if you see me on the 9:00 news, you can let him know who dumped the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good
I was
idea.
joking,
You
but
can
that's-
ID me.
And so we get there, and I have a list of rules. I don't get in cars with people on first dates.
Nope.
Uber is one thing. There's an app. It shows where I'm going and things like that. But strangers on first dates, I don't. So we get there. The cafe was closed, and there was another cafe behind it that looked like it was open. And I was like, oh, we can just go to this little bakery. And it, too, was closed because in a sketchy part of town, closes at 3:00.
Yeah.
So my options were Burger King and McDonald's. They were across the street. And I was like, let's go to Burger King. And so that's where we had our
The
first
Big
date.
Mac was just going to take it too far. Yeah.
She chose to have it her way rather than smiling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yours was way better than mine.
That was
Yeah.
my Burger King first date. I had a cup of coffee. It lasted 30 minutes.
I mean, when you add up to the date, okay, it makes sense now. But when you just hear, I went home to Burger King, I'm like, oh, you gave him at least a little chance.
I went on a date with a girl a while. Well, it was a long time ago, but it was like a Sunday night and everything was closed, and the only thing that was open was Bojangles. So I feel you.
Do we eat breakfast at McDonald's all the time?
I love it. Kind of.
Well, now I just do coffee dates because it's low commitment. I don't have to do a lot of work. When I'm done with my cup of coffee, I can be like, peace.
Yeah.
Really
That's true.
not feeling it.
Yeah, I think that's why I like the brewery dates so much. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm at a brewery. All right, I had my beer. I got to go.
And if I'm not having fun, I'm going to get drunk and then I'll have some fun.
No, I'm not going to get drunk. If I'm not having fun, I got to go.
Well, we're different
also-
genders and stuff. So your 150 dates in that year, what year was that?
2015. So it was 10 years ago.
Good year. So
Her therapist said, get back out there. She got back out there.
yeah, the fuck she did. So 100, that's like 3 dates a week. So were you just like how did you keep track of all these people?
So
Did you have a spreadsheet?
I'm not that cool. I can't do spreadsheets.
I don't know if it's about being cool. I just have to do something.
I do have a calendar app
Okay.
so if you're in my phone, it's your name, which platform I met you on, and where we had our first date. So there was quite a few people in my phone of, Joe, the local brewery, and
Okay, God forbid you were like, remember when we went to the coffee shop? And he was like, what coffee shop?
my my friends they're like, they make fun of me and joke because I'd go out on Friday night with my friends and then leave that group of friends to go have a drink with a guy and then come back to the event with my friends. And then I'm like, hey, I have to bail early because I have a Saturday morning date. And then I had a Saturday night date where I smash guys in between, not smash literally, but fit them in between going out with my friends and going.
I'm going to be honest, my brain went straight to actual smashing, so I understand.
Yes, to clarify that, because I typically don't, like, there's a difference between going on a first date and having a hookup, and those are two different things. So my 150 first dates, they were not hookups. They were just first dates.
Just first dates.
None of them were a hookup?
Nope, not that year.
Did you have any hookups in 2015?
No.
Not sure if I believe that.
She's getting her feet wet. She waited till 2016.
Oh, okay.
I had to ease into it. So a lot of 2015, I was also coming out of grief.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Dating because she was afraid that I would never start dating.
Yeah.
And me to start dating sort of in a controlled environment. And so she just was like, if you don't create an online dating profile, I will create one for you. And so my very first dating app was OkCupid.
Oh, wow.
Remember those days.
Yeah.
So
that's 150 first dates. There was no hookups.
So did you meet most of the 150 on OkCupid, or were there like over multiple platforms?
I think I pretty much stuck to OkCupid, but then I also did a couple of other ones. But the problem with dating apps is the same people are on all of them. So you see the same 50 people on OkCupid and Tinder and Match. And I've met some amazing people that I'm still friends with on OkCupid from 2015. And I've met some not so nice people on the dating app. So I don't think there's one that's better or worse. I just, I tried to stick to one at a time so I could keep them all straight in my phone.
Were there many that you went on second dates with, or were they all first dates and that was it?
There was a couple that were more than first dates, but I wouldn't say that they got past like 4. The one guy who had the daughter come to our date was a third date, and then he ghosted me after I called him out on bringing his daughter.
Figures.
He was ready to get married.
Yeah,
like
he
if
was.
you
Here's
got
my
along with
daughter.
a daughter, and then he was putting a ring on it.
He's going to show you his penis next.
So yeah, I tried to keep them all.
You need anything? I need a beer.
I could keep it all straight, but there weren't a lot of second dates. There just weren't that many people who were interesting.
It sounds like it with 150 dates because myself, I separated November of 2023. So I just started, I wasn't in the dating scene, dating apps, things like that for too long. I had a couple of dates, had one that we ended up being better friends. We're not we just weren't a thing. Like we tried, whatever, we're friends. And then I met the guy that I'm with currently on Facebook dating after that one. But after me and the, wasn't even a situationship. Like it just wasn't anything. Once we just confirmed that was done, I waited like a month and then I went back on the dating apps. And then the guy that I'm with now, when I seen him, I'm like, okay, you're not my physical type, but his profile made me laugh. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give you a shot. And I matched with him. And then here I am 4 months later. Still there.
That's reasons why when I was doing this sort of experiment in 2015, I would match with guys who weren't necessarily my type because I was married for so long. I didn't really know what my type was. And it's like, why don't you go out with the nerdy computer guy with glasses who is 5'6", or the football player who never got over his high school days, who's got muscles so much. So I really tried to not stereotype and only go for guys who look like my husband. And so it was quite the experiment. I had one guy yell at me for being taller than him.
Yeah, he yelled at you?
Why did he yell? Oh, we're on hold though. We didn't lose her. We were just on hold.
What a cliffhanger.
Oh, I know what happened.
That's all right.
So he yelled at you for being taller? Like you can help
So
it?
I always ask the height because I wear heels.
Okay.
And some
How tall are you?
people- I'm 5'6".
Okay.
I'm not super tall. But I wear heels, so that can put me from 5'7" if I'm wearing low heels to 5'9" if I'm wearing stiletto. Like, it just depends. So I always ask because I have found that some people, height is important. It is not important to me, but it is important. So I always
Amen.
ask. He texted me saying that he was 6 feet tall. I had the text. I wear heels. I'm coming from work. I'm a paralegal, so I'm dressed nice. We meet at this nice restaurant for dinner, and he yells at me because I'm taller than him.
What the fuck?
He
Like
even said
actually yelled at you?
yelled at me because I was taller than him, and I was like, "You said you were 6 feet tall. I'm not in heels. I'm 5'8". And he got very irritated with me because I called him out for lying and for being taller than him in heels. And I didn't even sit down to the date. I just turned around and left.
Well, I'm like sitting here trying to figure out how he thought he was going to get away with 6 feet, heels or no heels.
Thank you. That's
Wait a minute.
If any intention of meeting, don't lie because it's obvious.
Was he not 6 feet tall?
No.
No.
Did she
He was
say that?
5'6", 5'7". He was like my height, bare feet.
She was in
Oh.
heels and she was 5'9" in the heels that she was wearing, and he was shorter than her. So he yelled at her for being taller than him.
I'm sorry. I got mixed.
So height was a thing for me
There's
because
so much going on there.
I'm almost 5'9", like flats, barefoot. I'm almost 5'9".
I'm almost 5'4".
Yeah, almost close. And he's not kidding. He wishes he was.
Thanks.
You're welcome. But so that was a big thing for me was height. I wanted like 5'10" or taller at least because I don't really wear heels. I'm okay without them. I don't know why women want to put their feet through that. I just don't want to do it. And so a lot of the guys that I talked to were in that height range, but most of the ones I talked to in that height range were douchebags. Well, This one's profile said 5'10". And I'm like, okay. And then I meet him. I'm like, we're like the same height. You are not 5'10". He's like, I'm 5'10". You're not 5'9". I'm like, bitch, yes, I am. I just got measured at the doctor the other day. Don't argue with me. I mean, I'm still with him. So, I mean, I called him out on it. But I'm like, you're like this much taller than me, man.
Did you not like say anything to him like, well, you lied to me about how tall you were?
Yeah, I showed him the text because after a certain amount of communication on the app, I just give out a cell phone number. It's not my cell phone number. It's a Google number, basically. But so we were texting before we arranged for the date, and I was like, hey, how tall are you? And he said 6 feet tall, 6 FT. That seems like 6 feet to me.
He forgot the 5 in front of it.
5.
When he was so upset with me, and he started getting red in the face and flustered.
Oh,
And
damn.
I'm like, you said you were 6 feet tall. Like, did you not think we were gonna meet?
He was embarrassed.
I hope
So that's
that
why
place,
he yelled.
I hope that place was packed the fuck out too.
I don't remember because we were standing at the hostess desk, so we didn't even make it into the restaurant. Which is really awful because I was excited about going to that restaurant, but not at the expense of being yelled at for being.
I'd have still gone, sat down and ate. Screw it. He can go home.
Well, I mean, it shows she's a good woman. She didn't just get a free meal.
I mean, if you yell at me, I'm probably gonna.
True. Yeah. Right.
You
right.
yell
I
at me,
agree.
I'm gonna deck you. Like,
I agree.
I mean, the only reason I didn't hit him is because I'm a paralegal and orange is not the new black, and I don't look good in stripes, and prison cotton is just bad for
He's
you.
gonna be like that. Amazon just kicked my ass.
That's awesome.
Oh, and he would cry about it.
Yeah, that poor guy.
That poor guy, he yelled at
Well,
her.
he's just. It's. I know he yelled at her, but I'm just saying,
I
like,
hope he's still single.
he's struggling with his height.
Yell at
like,
people?
like I know the feeling.
I'm sorry, if you're on a dating app and you say you're 6 feet and then you schedule a date, you can be like, man, I'm sorry. My profile says I'm 6 feet due to the algorithm. It gets me more options. Like, make some shit up and then be like, but I'm really 5'6", so please don't wear heels to our date.
Yeah.
And I tell them, they're like, is height important to you? And I'm like, no, it's not important to me, but I wear heels. And that changes the height dynamic a little bit.
So would you not have cared if he didn't yell at you and didn't lie about his height?
I was more irritated that he lied and then he yelled at me. So yeah, if he would have just gone on the date and been like, oh, cool, and then explained that he lied because he gets more dates or more options or the algorithms or all the things. But the combination of lying to me, which is a pet peeve of mine, and the
But would you have, like, had he been honest about his height and all that, and it wasn't even a part of the whole thing, would you have been interested in him?
I don't know because I didn't get on the date, but I would have worn flats instead of heels.
I mean, just a valid answer.
Yeah.
I don't. He's been the most amazing human on the planet, but because that was the first introduction of in person, it negated anything else. So I hope he has found somebody under 5'6" who makes him happy.
So do you truly care about, like, do you care if somebody's shorter than you? Would you entertain that?
I would entertain it. You just have to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
She said she doesn't care about height.
I know. I just wanted her to say it more directly.
yes, I don't care about height. I'm not a height snob. Just don't lie.
He doesn't
gotcha.
hear it very often, so when somebody says it, he's really got to hear it.
You're right. I wasn't even thinking of it like that, but you pulled out an emotion I didn't even realize.
That's what I'm here for.
When I always had to tell girls, like, within the third message, like, hey, how tall are you? Because if you're taller than me, we're probably not going to make it much
online
further.
dating, it's on your profile. I always made sure my height was on my profile.
Well, I'm saying I would ask them because if it wasn't on their profile.
Yeah, because the one like I'm currently with, I actually got irritated because a couple days into talking, he was like, so I was like, well, you're about my height. You know, you're not much taller than me. He was, well, how tall are you? I'm like, did you not look at my profile before you matched? And I was like,
Can't be
I'm
mad
like
at him for that.
5'8". I'm not mad. He's still with me. I'm like 5'8" and a half, and he's like, oh wow, you are tall. And I was like, all right, where is this going? Because I'm not that tall, and I have really good legs, guys.
You're tall to me.
Well, everybody's
I
tall
knew
to
you
you.
were going to say that.
My son is tall to you. He's almost my height.
Well, I'm sure he's a good boy.
Kansas days. So in back when you were doing the online dating, you were on the dating apps, things like that. I have a feeling guys haven't changed much in 10 years. And you were still getting... You're outnumbered this
Some
time.
of us have.
Usually I'm outnumbered.
Yeah,
you're
I know.
outnumbered.
I like it.
I'm sure you got a few unsolicited pictures.
Is this the first female guest we've had together?
Yes.
Wow, you're the first female guest we've had just with us.
So yeah, we only had Warren and Will, and then Will.
We've
and then
only had the
Eric.
gays.
Yeah, we've had the gays.
We've had a lot of gays.
They're my BFFs. But anyways, God dang it.
So you were going to see if I received any unsolicited dick pics?
Thank you. This is why I need a girl on the show.
Yeah. So yes, I have. We created a picture gallery of the ones I've received.
Oh.
And
Share them with all your
we're
friends.
around on girls' night when there's too much wine or margaritas or whatever you're drinking and compare notes about what they look like and if anybody else has seen a similar
So the exact reason women are afraid to share half naked pictures
That makes
is
sense.
the reason men should be afraid to share theirs, but they don't care.
You ever find anybody with the same card?
Yes.
I don't know why I was so excited about that.
You got really excited about that.
It was such a silent moment for a second.
Yes, there was one time. It is what it was, but
It's like Pokemon cards with dicks.
Okay.
that is a true statement.
Have you ever asked any of them, like, what makes you want to send this? Like, what about that orifice of your body is attractive that would just make me want to jump on you? Like, really?
So I haven't worded it like that. I did ask one gentleman why he sent it before we even met. Like, I understand if you're in a relationship and even when you're just starting out to send flirty pictures, but this one person sent me a unsolicited photograph at lunchtime.
Oh.
And my phone was the firm that I worked for catered lunches every day. So everybody in the firm was sitting around at conference room tables eating lunch. And my phone just happened to be on the table, flipped up the right side up. And I get this picture, and the girl sitting next to me sees this picture on my phone.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. First of all, why the middle of the day?
What kind of phone was it?
So it's an Android. I've always no, it was an Android. But I have text notifications turned on so I can read the message. When my daughter was away in college, it was just easier to screen the "Mom, I need you right now" versus
sense,
"Hey."
yeah.
And so I have the read alerts on, and so this picture pops up, and the girl sitting next to me sort of started freaking out because I got this dick pic. So I text him. I'm like, "What the hell? What? Like, why? Why did you think this was a good idea? And why did it have to be at 12:05 p.m.?" And he's like, "Well, I was just sitting here playing with myself and thought I'd share."
Thought I'd share my...
So you have nothing better to do at 12 o'clock in the afternoon but
It's
sit
show
there and
and
play
tell.
with yourself?
That's what I...
Maybe you had the day
he did
off.
not reciprocate. He was a thanks for sharing, but no thanks.
I've got one.
One?
Yep, I only got one.
In your whole life?
I was married for half of that.
Oh, that's right.
I was married for 14 years.
But
I got
still.
married at 20.
Ah,
So, we've already had the discussion. I'm separated, blah, blah. So I received a 1. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, send me a picture. And I'm like, no. First of all, spending the night at my friend's house. Second of all, no. And he's like, oh, that's hot. Send me a picture. And I'm like, no, I don't. You're
He
disturbing.
said it was hot that you said
He
no?
said it was hot that I'm at my friend's house,
Oh.
who's also his friend.
Oh.
And he was like, it's hot that you're at her house. You should go take a picture. I'm like, that's not hot. Why is that hot?
It's so hot that you're hanging out with your friend.
Yeah. And it's just not, I don't care what angle you take it at. It's not doing anything.
Should have sent him a picture of the dog's butthole. That's what I would have done.
You would.
Oh,
Dog butthole or a cat butthole. Either one works.
so years after I stopped online, because I haven't online dated since 2020. Just life happened, and so I haven't been online in a while. But years after, probably 2021, 2022, I get this random dick pic, like 2 a.m. I don't get it till the following morning.
That's what you want to
And
wake up to. Morning wood.
It was from somebody I'd gone on several dates with years.
Oh, he was digging deep.
And I texted, I'm like, why? He's like, yeah, there was a lot of alcohol involved. I don't know who all got those pictures.
I was going to say, I wonder how many girls got that picture that night.
I would have responded with, and you wonder why you're still single.
I would have been like, is that it?
So yes, I have a collection of them. I think I've deleted most of them, but I've received quite a few over the years.
Wow. So in those, has any of those ones you dated in those in the 10 years, were any of them any kind of relationships?
Yes.
Okay.
There was one that I met on Tinder that was probably my biggest regret.
Okay.
So I will not be going back to Tinder.
Gotcha. I wouldn't get on Tinder now either.
I mean, name association, I hear Tinder and I have flashbacks of this awful relationship. And so I just have decided that's not it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Several of them are really good friends. Like, it didn't work out between us, but we're really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of them would have been long term, except he passed away from cancer.
Oh, wow.
And so, not to say dodged a bullet, but my husband passed away from cancer. And so this gentleman and I decided that we needed time apart for a little while. And so we stopped seeing each other. And then when we reconnected, it was when he had cancer. And it just caused me a lot of anxiety that I couldn't be involved in a relationship like that. And so I feel bad that I wasn't the type of woman that he was looking for at that time. But he could have been long-term, except he passed away.
So it sounds like everything you do, and I love it, is very intentional. All the decisions you make, you're not one of those women that's just out there just dating and hooking up or whatever. Like, everything you do is done with intention. It's very, what word am I looking for? It's like respectful, but that's not the word that I was looking for. I respect you for it. Because there's a lot of girls out there that's like, I've been on 150 dates and I hooked up with 120 of them.
It's very admirable.
There you go. That's the word.
Well, you, even though you went about it the right way, as far as we know, you set the new record for the most dates out of all our guests in a year.
What did the model get? What was the model at?
Oh, I don't think it was that many.
For females, you set the record
for females. Sure. The original number one female was like 56 in a year, 50 something.
It is a full-time job. Like, at one point, I got to the point where I firmly believe that who you see today is who you're going to get in a relationship. And so I didn't dress up and make myself fancy and put a face out there that if we woke up together the next day, you'd be like, who are you? You were a 10 last night and this morning you're a 2.
Yep.
So I've always just been as authentic and real as possible, and always offered to split the check. There's been several first dates where the guy has shoved the check at me and I ended up paying for it. And so
I'd
have paid for my meal and left.
Did you did you write down all these dates? Do you have like stats?
I don't have stats. I upgraded my phone, so I don't even have the same phone with the calendar, so I can't say I went out with Joe on December 12th, and but
he made me pay.
Was frequently that I went on a first date with a guy in 2015, and he was telling me a story about a bad first date. Because I always ask, I want to know, what's your first date? I think I was interviewing these guys way before I started a podcast. But so I was asking him about his worst date, and he said one of the women he went on a date with was so awful and high maintenance, and she had a major attitude with the wait staff. She went to the bathroom, and he went to the bartender and asked for his check, please. And so he paid his check and then left while she was in the bathroom, and then
the balls on these guys.
I've pulled a similar move. You get some crazy ones once in a while. Not saying you're crazy. So you've mentioned a couple times it's like a full-time job. Did you look at it like a job? Like, were you working at the time?
I was working at the time, but it was fun for me because I got to explore Denver. I got to meet a ton of people. I got to experience, like, I would always let them pick. So if a guy invited me out, I'd be like, well, pick your favorite bar or pick your favorite hike. I did have one guy invite me to a sketchy part of town to a park at 10 o'clock at night for a picnic.
What the fuck?
I did say no to that one. I declined because I was not interested in
Central
being
Park
on
at
a
2 a.m.
What are you doing at the park at 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah, really.
Swinging? Like, literally?
Nothing's going to come from that big.
Yeah, I'm
so
fired tonight.
But I was working full time, but I was excited because I found my favorite bar and I found a great coffee shop and a hike that I'd never been on. And I got to experience a lot of things from other people's perspective. And so it was a lot of fun for me. Getting dressed up, like I was already dressing up for work. So planning to go to dinner on a Tuesday night, I just left work. I was still dressed up, so it wasn't extra work. And I spend about 10 minutes, 15 minutes getting ready anyway. So I'm not high maintenance where it's going to take me an hour. So it wasn't added more work.
Yeah.
It was just a lot. Everybody's like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? And I'm like, well, breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Saturday and breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Sunday.
I got 6.5 dates this weekend. I don't have any time for you.
Well, it's like you were saying, don't put an impression of yourself out there on the first date. It's just like guys, they want to wine and dine you on the first date. And where does that go after? Me and you have had this conversation. He always opens the door, the car door on the first date or, you know, for the first 5 days. And then it just stops. He just stops opening the car door.
Stop.
It just stops.
It's on the nice occasion. It's not like when we go to the Circle K or nothing. Like, it's like when we go out, like.
But why even begin it if it's not something that's going to be consistent in the relationship?
It shouldn't be expected as consistent. I mean, you shouldn't expect me to open your door every time you get in the car. Like if we're going out, then it's one thing,
Okay.
and like I'm being sweet, like I'm trying to get some tonight or something, you know. But like if we go to Circle K to get us a fucking one of them tornado
I'm going
things,
to just sit there and wait for you to open my door.
you're gonna sit in the car, and I'll go get your shit, and I'll come back.
That works too.
You can just I don't want you to come in the store with me because you're gonna take forever.
No, I'm like in and out. I don't like shopping at all. At all
Nobody
for
shops
anything.
at Circle K.
Anything. No, I don't like looking at candy. I don't like looking at chips. I don't look like
I get it.
I know what I need. I go grab it and I walk out. But I always do a very casual date. I'm not the rooftop bar kind of girl. I'm not the take me to Charlotte and let's look at the city view. No, it's really tall up there and I don't want to get up there. So we'll just stay on the ground.
I like it.
I've never been.
I know that I'm a diva, but here I heard somebody say this recently that all my friends, when I was doing this, would call me a down-to-earth diva because I have diva tendencies, but I'm maintaining my diva-ness. I don't expect other people to maintain it. And it doesn't impact you. Like, if I'm doing my nails, I'm not expecting you to pay for my nails to be done. Mm-hmm. Please tell me how tall you are so I can wear the appropriate shoes.
And don't yell at me when I get there.
Don't yell at me. But so I'm maintaining my diva-ness. So, but I also manage expectations that who you are seeing is who I'm going to be for the entire time that we're spending time together. But I can dress up and go to the rooftop bar. My favorite bar in Denver is a rooftop bar. And so I can get fancy with the best of them. But I also like to wear flip-flops and a sundress on the beach, which is why I spend my time on the East Coast.
Yeah. So I was just actually said the other day, you know, my current guy is just like, what do you like so much? I said, you treat me like a princess without treating me like a princess because you know I'm not a princess. Like, I will get down and dirty with the rest of them. I don't care. I don't need the fancy things.
Down and dirty.
Down and dirty. And so I'm like a down to earth diva. Like I paint my own nails because it's expensive now to go get your nails done. I ain't got time for all that. And then I'll curl my hair. That's about as girly as it gets.
I paint my own nails because I change them every other day, and it's too expensive and the time commitment to change them every other day.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason I do my own nails. But they get done every other day.
Yeah, mine don't.
So I don't mean to keep going back on these 150 dates.
You do.
I was just curious. So these dates, this was when geez, I keep burping. I'm sorry. Your therapist said it's time to get it back out there. So did you in the beginning intend on going on so many dates in 1 year? Or you just kind of started going on dates and then started experimenting from that point on?
My intention at the time was to find a partner. Like, I was married for 14 years, so I was used to having that connection and sleeping next to somebody and having somebody bring me coffee in bed and those types of things. And so when I started dating, even though I was not interested in actually dating because I was still grieving, this was sort of her shoving the baby bird out of the nest, was the intention was to find a partner like my husband. But then I realized that I was not in a headspace. Like, I wasn't finding anybody that I had the connection with. So it wasn't intentional to go on that many first dates. I just started going on first dates to go on first dates to find somebody. And then it sort of snowballed. And I didn't even realize that it was 150 first dates until years later. And I was looking back over it and I was like, that was a ridiculous amount of dates. And so then I counted, because it was before I upgraded my phone, and I counted and I was like, are you serious? 150 first date? That is a lot. Like, people are like, how did you do it? And I'm like, well, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. Well, and you were in Denver, right?
I was in Denver, and it used to be men Denver. There were more men than women single. So I also like to, in the grand scheme of things, this is what I tell people when I go on dates and they're like, why are you still single? You always get that famous question, you're so fantastic and you're so beautiful, why are you still single? And I like to say that I'm not supermodel gorgeous, but I'm not pretty. So I'm like girl next door cute. So like I would have people above and below me sort of reach out and ask me out. And like I said, I was always looking for something different because I didn't know what my type was. So if you asked me out, I generally said yes, unless you asked me out to a dark park at 10 p.m.
I'm going. I want to figure it out. I want to go.
I want to go to this park. I want to see what's going on there at 10.
The homeless people.
I was a little sketched out. I was like,
maybe he was homeless.
What if he wanted to have like witchcraft? What if he was trying to like cast a spell?
I'm sure he was casting something.
So to answer your question, I didn't start out with the intention of 150 first dates. It just sort of snowballed because I was looking for a relationship and
just nobody.
didn't find it.
Sound like you had a really good therapist. Or have. I don't.
So I have so my therapist, all of my friends know her. Her name's Mariah. And she was my grief therapist when my husband passed away. And I just kept seeing her. But when my daughter decided to go off to college, when she was getting older, she said, here's what's going to happen is you are going to heal from grief. You're going to be single. And then your daughter is going to go off to college and you're going to be alone. So she said, if you don't get comfortable meeting new people, going on dates, looking for a partner who's not your husband, while she's still at home in this sort of bubble where some things are familiar, then you're going to be empty nest looking for a partner and your grief is going to be so much greater. So I love my therapist. She's fantastic. She's helped me through quite a few life changes. I think everybody should talk to a therapist, but that she's also the reason I take time off in between relationships, is because instead of going from one to the next, me personally, I need that time to decompress and figure out what I contributed, pro and con, to that relationship.
I think anybody that comes out of a long-term relationship needs a few years to, you know, find themselves, reconnect with themselves, figure things out, you know. Well, let's hear your opinion, Michelle.
I mean, I was married for 14 years. I just left him November of 2023. I took about 6 months before I put myself back out there.
Well, you also weren't
I was also checked out of the marriage for,
a long
3
time.
years.
Yeah.
But
But also, it's impactful is if you're already not invested in a relationship, and I'm by no means an expert on relationships, hence why I'm still single. But if you're checked out of the relationship already, you sort of have already started that process.
yeah.
So your time is actually 3 years versus 6 months
That makes
because
sense.
you've already out.
Yeah.
And so not that anybody can tell you what's right or wrong, but it's a different mindset if you're thinking I've only been single for 6 months versus this relationship has been dead for 3 years and I'm just now getting around to doing something about it.
Yeah. True. Very true.
Makes sense.
It does.
We're gonna take us a little 2-minute break, and then we'll be back.
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm perfect. I'm recovering from pneumonia, so I'm going to drink my tea.
You need a beer or anything?
If only I had beer in the house, that'd be great.
Teleport it.
I'll teleport you one. Yeah, we'll be right back. Oops, I farted. Did you hear that? I was holding that in.
So we're back. Do you want to say welcome back?
Welcome back.
He always says welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Isn't that a song?
I had to make sure you hit record because
I did.
don't remember.
I'm on point tonight.
Do you remember
Except holding my farts.
I know there's a... I can't stand you. I know there's a lot of that to remember. But do you remember any of the pickup lines that guys use when they would message you on the apps?
You got any good ones?
Like, what was their approach, I guess?
I'm trying to think back. Pretty much, guys in Denver from at least 10 years ago were pretty standard. Like, there would be chatter back and forth, and then, hey, do you want to grab a beer? Because there's a ton of breweries in Colorado. So there was a ton of beer dates. Not too many cheesy lines for the most part. Like,
So it's like a
You get
typical,
the-
hey, how are you kind of thing?
Yeah. Sometimes it would go on for a couple of, like, a week, 10 days. And I'm hey, let's get together and see if there's something here.
Yeah.
Because I don't need a pen pal. I have 150 of them.
Yeah. Facts.
So,
And so if I'm interested or something you've said has piqued my interest or something on your profile, and whenever I would message, I'd always try to find something on their profile. Hey, I saw you like snowboarding. What's your favorite place to board? Or where would you suggest a beginner go? Like something with their profile, because I always read profiles.
Yep.
But I understand that it's not the same level of dedication for men sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I was on Hinge for a while. And I got some of the, like, you know, I put the typical stuff on there. I like to go out. And I'd get the dumb, like, I can't even think of one right now. I wish I would have screenshotted them things when I was on the apps.
what's the best tip you ever got? Just do it.
I'm not doing it.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
I'm gonna let you
Just
do
do
it.
it.
No, I'm gonna let you do it.
Just tell me.
I can't stand him. No, I'm not entertaining him anymore. I need women on this podcast way more often.
All right. It doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, because I'm not doing it.
I know. I'm disappointed.
You should be disappointed. Can I quit now?
No, no, it's not a good time.
I still listen. It's been a day for him.
It's been a good day. So I want to. So how do you go about meeting the guests for your podcast?
So I've pretty much enlisted all of. I took 2024 off from podcasting just because life happened. And so I'm relaunching it, but I pretty much enlist all my friends who basically have all online dated at one point or another.
Yeah.
And now I've exhausted all of them. So now I'm reaching out to friends of friends and referrals. And so I'm still working on the lineup for 2025.
I got you. I had a question. I forgot what it was.
I'm not surprised. So we'll just keep going because what we'll do is he'll interrupt what we're saying and be like, I remember. And then I'll ask and we'll forget. So with that, I listened to 3 of your episodes actually today.
Yeah, I listened to a couple.
I liked the one, I don't remember her name, where she had all the screenshots.
I was listening to that one too.
Of her bad messages.
When I pulled in the driveway, it was right before she got to the dirty ones. So I didn't hear the dirty ones yet.
Oh, well, let me not give it away.
Oh, yeah, give it away. Only another 15 minutes.
Well, obviously your standard dick pics. There was that. And then what did she say? She was like, I'm good in the kitchen or something like that. And she would always get messages that says, what about the bedroom?
Oh, my God.
Like that would be her
come on.
opening
She set
line.
herself up for that.
And then there was one where it didn't he literally ask if he could lick her? I'm not saying the word. Yeah, that was his first message was, can I lick your...
Kneecap?
Yeah, that's exactly what he went for.
It was toes.
Oh, toes. I wasn't even thinking that. You ever had a man lick your toes?
Yes, but not on a date.
Oh, I wouldn't expect it to be on a date. I would hope not.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was a long time ago. I think I was in high school. It was that weird high school,
I always...
It was not. That was a good time.
No, I turn into Karate Kid when people get near my feet. It's on. Taekwondo.
I don't understand why there's such a fascination with feet. I have never been that person. I don't know anybody who has that fascination, but based on how much we talk about it, it seems to be a thing.
Well, I think it became a thing when the OnlyFans and the foot finder. Then it's like now it's like everybody's got this foot thing, and I'm like, I think
the foot thing's always been.
It's always been a thing, but it's never been as open. Like people were embarrassed that they liked feet. Now it's just like so normal.
Like being gay. I sucked a toe or two before.
The two aren't even comparable.
Well, they're not comparable, but it was embarrassing to be gay back in the day.
It wasn't really embarrassing.
Well, you didn't want to tell people because they would
You weren't embarrassed.
beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, exactly. You got bullied. You didn't get bullied for foot fetishes.
Bullied.
Well,
I would bully a motherfucker if they had in high school I would bully somebody. I'd be like, you're a disgusting motherfucker. Even though I've sucked a toe.
Disgust, not like now, when I was in high school.
Yeah.
There would definitely be some bullying based on foot fetish.
Yeah. I just think I don't think the gay is embarrassing. I think it's fear. That was more fear-based
You're right.
than it
You're
is
right.
a foot
My bad.
fetish.
I take it
foot
back.
Foot fetish is embarrassing.
I'll edit that part out.
It should be embarrassing. You don't have to edit it out. I just need it. Just no, because I corrected you. It's fine.
Okay. Did you ever have any guys out of like all your time dating come across with some crazy fetishes or anything? Like ask you to do anything weird or?
not necessarily weird, just a lot of dom and sub culture where both ways, like they wanted a sub and they wanted a dom and they like that culture. And while I am bossy, I don't think I'm bossy enough to be a dom. Like,
But-
give it some time. That might be my next dating story.
I think because you've been independent for so long, and there's that hyper independence, and there with a partner, you don't want to be that. I want to say alpha female. You don't want to be that alpha female when you're with your partner. You want to be able to let it go and let your partner take over at that point. Like, you don't want to be the one calling all the shots. You're doing that in your daily life now. Point of a partner is to take that pressure off and feel like
My
a
dating
partnership.
used to say for the longest time, not in my 151st dates, because this has gotten me some questions, that I'm just looking for somebody to bring me coffee in bed, because coffee is a big deal to me. I'll bring you coffee in bed. I'm like, let's unpack what that actually means. That I was married for so long that I don't trust anybody to be in my bedroom in the morning enough to bring me coffee in bed. And so if you're in my house able to bring me coffee in bed, that means that there's a relationship that's been developed. So I'm not just a hookup that you bring me Starbucks. That's not what I'm after.
Yeah.
And so
Have you hit that point with anyone?
Pardon?
Have you hit that point with anyone, like to bring you coffee in bed?
Yes. Unfortunately, the two people who I've had a relationship with that were that level of relationship didn't drink coffee and never brought me coffee in bed.
Well, just because I don't drink coffee. Mine went and bought a coffee maker. He doesn't drink coffee, but he knows I drink coffee.
What kind of coffee
That's
maker did he
probably
buy
why-
you?
Just a little coffee, like a typical drip coffee maker.
All right.
He wasn't getting anything fancy. He doesn't drink coffee, but he got me a coffee maker,
Well,
and that's what matters.
thank God for Jeff.
You know what? Yes.
So, like, how many years did you say it was since your husband passed?
It will be 15 in August.
years. Yeah. So, if you don't mind me asking, do you still feel weird around other guys or dating or inviting somebody into your house or doing things that you and your husband used to do? Have you gotten past that?
So it's very cliche when they say time heals.
Yeah.
Because we had this discussion 1, 2, 3, even 5 years into my grief cycle, I would have said no. I would have held on to that pain and that loss. But I think it was right around 6 or 7 years, maybe 8 years, where I stopped comparing every date to my husband. And so I got a lot more comfortable letting people into my house and going on second dates. And I think in 2015 also, while I was looking for that partner, I was also hesitant because I'd been married for 14 years. And so, so I have found partners since then. They just haven't worked out.
Well, in that
so,
situation, early on, it's like you're looking for somebody to replace, and you don't want to replace because there's never a replacement. You're just looking for somebody, but you know you're never going to find him again. So you've just had to accept that part.
Yep. So now I don't even, it's been so long that I don't even, I have to consciously think of my anniversary date. I have to consciously think of the day that he passed away. And so, not that I've forgotten that, but now that's a second thought versus it's an afterthought versus being the primary thought. And so now I can meet people, and I have, my last relationship lasted a year, and it never crosses my mind to even think about my marriage.
Was it like a sudden, like noticeable change in yourself when you hit that point where you were able to separate the two?
I don't think it was like a conscious thought. I think it was more that I was intentionally ignoring who I was before, which is not as bad as it sounds. I'm not ignoring that person, but that person doesn't, I'm not that person anymore because of time. And so I would go out on dates, and at the beginning it was, you have to stop the comparison game. Mm-hmm. You're not going to find your husband. His name was Mike. You're not going to find Mike. This is not Mike. Mm-hmm. It's unfair to put this kind of burden on these men. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of like carrying the previous relationship into the new relationship. It's not fair to them.
Right.
And so I just intentionally was like, okay, stop the comparison game. Like, I had this whole hype talk every time that I went on a date, and now I don't have to because I'm a completely different person. Mm-hmm. And so, but it wasn't I didn't one day automatically stop doing it. It was every day was a hype talk until I didn't have to do the hype talk anymore.
Progress.
Yeah. Did you and Mike have a good relationship? Were you guys happy?
It was good at the time. I thought it was good at the time, and then sort of things come out afterwards, and so you talk to certain people who remember things differently, and so I appreciate them for what they were and try not to reflect on them, because now I view them as a different person. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm remembering them differently. Was that really like how that happened? And then somebody else will be like, oh, I was there and I remember that. And they have a different perspective. So I don't actually look back on those times. I just embrace it. And so it was good at the time.
Yeah. You move forward. You have to live in the moment. You can't keep living in the past. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah.
Was there, can I ask how he passed away? Did you say that?
She said that.
How was it?
He passed away from cancer. He had
right.
a great form of cancer for 6 years.
Okay. Was there ever anything that you found out about him after he passed away that you never knew prior?
Yes.
Yeah? Like yes. Anything you care to share?
Nope. Those are the memories that remain untainted because I don't think about them.
That's fair. Yeah. I respect you for that. I'm gonna ask questions until you say no. You did.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I try to be as candid and like this is what going on a first date with me is like. I just ask questions and you ask questions, and so we're on a first date, by the way.
Hey, you got.
I'm winning.
How?
I don't burp or fart.
I didn't mean to fart. I was trying to get out of the room, and it slipped. I'm loose.
You don't do that.
I'm not loose, I swear.
You just lost more points.
I can fart and you can hear how tight I am.
So after every episode, Eric and Rain have people rate them 1 to 10. So we're still gonna do that at the end of the episode. I'm gonna show you a picture of Eric on the camera, and then you can still rate Rain and Eric because I don't need to be rated. They do.
That was a random.
I just thought about it.
Is this a dating app, a dating rate, or is this just a person rate?
Usually it's like an overall. Like at the end of the episode when we have a guest, and this was before Michelle's time, like anytime we'd have a female guest, by the end of the episode, we'd be like, okay, so after knowing us, appearance, personality, like all the above, at a 1 out of 10, 10 being the best, of course, like, what would you rate this person out of your perspective? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they made me do it at the end of my episode. It was not fair because I had just met Rain and I'd known Eric for months.
I didn't like Michelle when I first met her.
He didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
we are co-hosts. I like it.
She was a bitch. I'm just kidding. You weren't. You weren't.
It's not it was an awkward situation.
I'm gonna edit that out because I felt really bad about saying that.
Why?
I don't know. I just felt
I'm
bad.
not
all
offended
of a sudden. I felt
at
really bad.
Because I'm his friend now.
Maybe you should spank me. No, I'm just kidding.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
I'm kidding. I don't ever want to be spanked. That's not a thing of mine. I don't like being spanked.
Not a fetish thing.
No.
So if you go back and listen to our episode with, what do we call it? Strap in or strap on? My friend Warren was on, and he's actually a fetish toy maker. He is in the LGBTQ plus community, and he is a fetish toy maker. And needless to say, it got extremely interesting.
It was a good episode. It was fun.
It was, by the end, they were calling me daddy. I mean, it was.
That's usually what they call me by the end.
Nope. Yours was, nope. You were calling Warren daddy.
Was I?
It was, yeah.
No.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I was.
You were.
At the bar, I was.
Eric even called him daddy.
Eric was kind of gay that episode.
But it's a fun episode. But anyways, back to where we were. We went off the rails a little bit there.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it happens.
So what's your outlook like what's your future look like? Do you have any goals? Do you want to find somebody and marry somebody again? What's your future look like?
So the last time I answered this question, it was held against me because I, in their mind, was not allowed to change my mind after answering this question. So I went on a second date. It was a second date with a person who asked me this question, if I had any interest in getting married again, what was my end game? And I said, I've been there, done that. I'm not truly interested in getting married again. A piece of paper doesn't mean any more commitment than a non-piece of paper.
Yep.
So in my mind, it's not really necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was held against me for the 2 years we were in a relationship that I didn't want to get married. He wasn't going to propose because I had already said I was not. I was like, I reserved the right to change my mind, like all the things. And he's like, nope, you already said it. So I try not to do across the board.
Yeah.
This is my end game because I've been burned before. But I would like to meet somebody. I would like to, like Michelle said, I make decisions all day long. I don't want to do 100% of the driving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to figure out what's for dinner every night. Like, that's not, I've been married. It was a good marriage. And while I don't want my marriage back, I would definitely like to find somebody to bring me coffee in bed every once in a while, even if they don't drink coffee. Well, that's not true. I'm never dating a man who doesn't drink coffee again because that ended with me. And that's a never.
Well, I mean, same here. Like, I'm going through a divorce. It's an ugly divorce. I never want to deal with that again. I don't know why the government needs to be involved in my relationship. I think it's stupid. But if the right person were to come along, I'm saying that now, but if the right person, I didn't have the right person. I wasn't in love in my marriage. I was in comfort. I was comfortable. That's who I knew. I was not in love. Right person comes along that gives me those butterflies, is truly my first love, technically, then I'm getting married. That's what you do. Whether we do it on paper or we just do a ceremony, either way doesn't really matter at that point, but there will be a prenup.
I forget what you said or how you said it, but down deep, you know what you truly want, right?
Yep. I would like to be partnered up. Whatever that looks like, in whatever way that looks, I would like somebody to bring me coffee.
She wants her forever person.
She wants coffee.
She really wants coffee.
That's all I keep hearing. But you want somebody to, do you desire to be with somebody? Like if you didn't have Jeff, mm-hmm. Did you, before Jeff or whatever, did you have the desire to be with somebody, spend time with somebody,
Yes.
share your life with somebody.
Yes.
Yes.
Like I know you don't want to make decisions, but neither do we. But
But that's why it's a partnership.
right. But it sounds like you guys are trying to make less decisions than us, and it's not fair.
No, that's not it at all. That's
Well,
not
that's what it sounds like.
You're misinterpreting
You said
everything.
it like 3 times. I'm not.
No, you're misinterpreting. What we're saying is
because I'm a guy, right?
but in our everyday lives, and it's just like y'all as single men, you're hustling, you're out there, you're having to be the alpha, you're paying your bills, you're taking care of you. If you have kids involved, you're taking care of your kid. You're wearing that hat of like just the alpha. Like you're always making the decisions. When you have a partner, you can look at each other and say, what do we want for dinner tonight? And he may look at you and say, I don't know. But you can sit there and say, well, I don't know either. Do you just want to do cereal? And sounds great.
I love cereal before bed.
I mean, but it's not that it's
Like, but having somebody to bounce it off instead of the only one to make the decision. If you don't know and I don't know, then we're like, okay, well, Papa John's is down the street.
Right.
Do we want Papa John's or do we want to go to the brewery and have a fried? Like, it isn't necessarily giving up control and not making the decisions. It's having somebody to bounce the decisions off of.
You guys
have joint decision.
You guys make it sound like you would never eat if you didn't have a boyfriend.
I really don't.
You would never be able to decide what you wanted to eat.
Okay, and let's go rewind to Michelle being married. Okay. Michelle was married. Michelle made all the dinner decisions. I made dinner at home. I'm the one that cooked it. I'm the one that picked what we were eating. I'm the one that everything. So when we go then we go out to eat, and they'd be like, "Well, what do you want?" And I'm like, "I don't want to pick." And they're like, we always have to pick. Bitch, 6 days a week, I'm picking what we're eating. 6 days a week, I'm the one cooking it. 6 days a week, I'm defrosting it. I'm the one in the morning before I go to work picking out the chicken or the spaghetti meat. I pick dinner 6 days a week. You can pick it this once.
Okay, hold that thought. During your marriage, were you always the one picking dinner and fixing dinner and like same as what she just said?
So I joke, my friends will know this. I joke that I was a Stepford wife. Dinner was always on the table at 6 o'clock. It was home cooked meals. The kids were I did 100% of the laundry. I did all of the schools. Like I was that wife. Mm-hmm. And so when I didn't have to be that person, during grief, I never ate. My daughter and I ate takeout 100% of the time. I never cooked. And I don't actually like food. So when you say it sounds like you wouldn't eat if you didn't have a boyfriend, that's 80% true. Because
I mean, unless it's Taco Bell. So,
like, with that, like, you guys were both in kind of a similar situation where you took care of the food. So, like, by saying, like, I don't want any responsibility. You pick the food, this, then that. What, don't you feel like you're kind of projecting your past onto...
We're not saying we don't want any responsibility, but we don't want all of the responsibility. And it sounds like in both of our marriages, the households were our responsibility. I mean, we
so you want it 50-50.
Yeah, we want a partner.
The way you were saying it sounded like you didn't want any of it.
I don't necessarily want somebody to tell me what to eat or make.
Yeah, me neither.
No. But it's the bouncing the idea off, yes. Hey, I don't want to cook tonight or nothing sounds good. What do you want? And if you don't want anything, then there's a discussion of what to have. And if, like Michelle said, cereal is the option, that's something. But when I have to make it's an internal dialogue. So it's in my head. What am I having for dinner tonight? Nothing really sounds good. So I can have that as an external dialogue with the partner and not feel so alone and feel like I'm making 100% of the decisions. Even if I ultimately end up saying, hey, let's just get pizza or let's have sushi or whatever it may be. But it's an external dialogue instead of an internal dialogue that makes me feel even more alone.
Well, and when we say, like, when we go home, we want to just be able to because in our everyday lives, I don't care what anybody says. In a work life or anything, men have it easier than women. I could sit here and argue that with you all day long. Men have it way easier than women when it comes to a work life. So when we go out and we're doing our work, she's doing her paralegal thing, I'm doing my animal work. We have to be alpha in that sense. We have to be boss bitches. We have to take care of ourselves, our kids, whatever we have to do. When we go home, we want to feel like we can show that softer side of us. We want to be comfortable enough in a relationship to be softer, not as hard as we have to be in public.
Do you think I guess you're speaking for both of you, or at least
I'm speaking for me, but
do you think that, like, maybe it was just the guy you were with that made you feel or groomed you to be the way that you are today?
I mean, possibly.
Like, maybe you might have had a guy that did those things for you.
In the relationship I'm in now, my everyday, I'm a smart ass. I'm an asshole. I'm fully aware of who I am as a person. Like, it's not even a secret. But when I go to his house, I'm the softest. Like, you'd be like, I don't even know this person. Who is that? Like, I want to cuddle. I want to touch. I talk different. I say mushy things. Michelle doesn't do that.
I don't do that. God almighty.
I don't like it.
I don't ever want you to cuddle me.
But it's just like today I text him and I was like, each time I feel my watch buzz, I'm in this group chat and I'm like, I look, and when it's not you, I get sad. And then I was like, damn it, what have you done to me?
Oh my God. We're going to have to make a whole episode on please bring this motherfucker in. Back to Tonya. Tonya, you said you were 38 years old?
No, I'm 48.
48.
You would have never guessed that.
I thought 48 and I said 38 to be nicer.
But I wouldn't have guessed 48.
Me neither. Definitely not. No. You don't look 48.
I always get the reaction when I meet on first dates. They're like, you don't look anything like your pictures. But they're pictures that were taken of me. And so I'm like, this is me. I'm not catfishing you because all of my pictures look like this.
Yep. Yeah. Where are you going with that?
Huh?
Where were you going with that?
I don't even remember what I asked. So have you been on any dates recently?
I have not. I took last year off.
Okay. She say that already? No, I don't think so. We're going to pretend she didn't.
I'm back into my dating. 2025 is my dating year. So
okay. 2025 years is your year.
It's my year.
Hell yeah. You got any lined up for... Well, I mean, we're already 8 days into... Have you had any dates in...
We're going to have to recap in like 6 months.
You're off to a slow start. Yeah, we are. We will have to do that.
It's been a week.
Well, 150 dates in 1 year. She's off to a slow fucking
dating.
start.
She's not on the apps.
There was a couple of guys at the airport on New Year's Day that tried to flirt with me and got my number, but I was recovering from pneumonia, so I totally missed the flirting.
What is what's the ideal, like flirting style a man can come in and like swoop you off your feet? Like what does it take for Tonya?
I'm big on smell, and I know that's weird, but when I met my husband, he smelled amazing, and I was attracted to how he smelled. I don't remember the cologne he was wearing, but when I met my husband, his buddy tried to pick me up at a rock concert. And so I wasn't interested in his buddy, but he smelled amazing, which is how we ultimately connected. And so anybody who attempts to flirt, you have to smell good. You have to
So when we meet for drinks, you better wear some good ass cologne. I don't know what to tell you.
So, and then just be don't be creepy. Don't be weird.
You're out.
You're not going to lick my toes.
Don't be creepy. Just don't. Don't be creepy.
So yeah, I'm a pretty nice person, and so yeah.
Well, you seem like a really nice person.
Mm-hmm.
I really would. We would love to have you on. However many months or whatever, 6 months, a year. See if you can break that 150 record.
That's
It's a challenge.
Oh,
I bet it
I'm
is.
tired already.
I wouldn't even attempt it. I don't have that kind of time. It's a lot harder for guys.
You're just tired.
Yeah, I am. I'm always tired.
Tired.
I'm always tired.
That men have a harder time. It's a numbers game for men that they swiped so many times on women, because I don't know what the average is, but out of 10 swipes, they get maybe 1 or 2 connections. Whereas if I swipe 10 times, I'm getting 9 connections.
Yeah.
And so,
It's that vagina between your legs.
men have a harder time than women on the apps.
They do.
It's a lot harder for men.
But
We're
I think
disgusting. We're creepy.
I was
We
gonna
smell
say,
bad.
Other men have ruined it for the good ones.
Yeah.
And I try very hard when I'm going into a first date, of not bringing that baggage forward with me. It doesn't always work. Sometimes it happens, but I'm also willing to have a discussion. I've had them before with people who are like, that's not on me. I didn't cause that drama in your life, and so you can't hold me accountable for something they did.
Mm-hmm.
So I've also had a very real struggle with red flags, because all my ex's red flags, and then I'm looking for those red flags in a new relationship instead of just letting it be what it is. And so that's another thing to navigate. When you've had red flags, is this really a red flag, or am I projecting what my ex did? And so there's always that precarious.
I've had those moments for sure. Yeah, I get that.
So
It's more of an orange flag.
Well, no, it's like, it's just kind of like, I actually just had this conversation the other day. This very, if I tell him I'm going to do something, like I go to the bar with my gay friends, or I come here on podcast, I'm nervous to tell him. And it's nothing he did. And I tell him that. It's nothing you've done. It's me and my past. Because whenever I tried to have a life, I was made to feel guilty for having a life. And I'd end up canceling plans and all the things. Where now it's like, I get nervous about it. I'm texting and I like take a deep breath and I'm like, he's not your ex.
It's PTSD.
Yeah, and then I send it, and then he's like, oh, okay, I hope you have fun. And then, like, all that's gone. But I stress about it until I hear it. And it's like, I know, and in my head, I know that's not him. Like, I know I don't have to worry about it. He knows I have a life, and he's cool with me having a life. Anybody that isn't, I wouldn't be in a relationship with. But it's still there. It's still in the back of my mind. It's going to take a little bit to get over it.
Yeah, you're going to have to get used to the new habits of Jeffrey.
He's so cute.
I want to be around when you have Jeff on the show.
Yeah. So, Michelle, you got any questions? Anything on your mind you want to ask? Anything? Nothing?
No, we're going to do the reading thing. So I got to find a picture of Eric.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll
Eric Pesto, because I haven't met Eric.
okay, let's just go based on looks then.
While she's looking for a picture of Eric, go ahead and plug your podcast and do all that stuff. Tell everybody where they can find you and what you have to offer.
So my podcast is Swipe Left or Right, and it's on all the platforms. If you Google Swipe Left and then or right is in parentheses, it will pop up. And I'm looking for anybody who wants to be a guest, who has experienced online dating, or who wants to weigh in on online dating.
I would love to be a guest. I think that'd be fun.
Ooh, you can be a guest. Yes. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's set it up. Let's make it happen.
I did tell him I voluntold him earlier, so
I thought you spelled that wrong.
Nope. I voluntold you. I didn't volunteer
Never
you.
saw that word in my life.
You.
It's a new one on me.
Okay, so Rain first.
Okay. It's 1 to 10.
Should I take my shirt off?
No. Keep it on.
Sorry.
I feel like you should have done Eric first. I wasn't ready.
I'm here to take his shirt off, so I can't have a side-by-side comparison.
Well, it's great on under the shirt.
This is the time you should take your shirt off when Eric's not here.
Hey, you're an 8.
Ooh, I like that. I like
Ooh.
that. Strong, well, maybe a strong 8.
Okay, so like every picture ever of Eric taken, he has a sty in his eyes, so don't mind the damn sty. The man has had a sty since I've known him.
It's really not a good picture, but...
I think it's a good picture. Okay, which one then? Jeez. Do one with Erica? Those are his most recent. They're all with him and Erica, which is fine. Like that one. He doesn't have a sty.
Do it like that. Do it like that.
He doesn't really have a sty. Okay, we'll see. Can you see it?
I can. I'm going to give him a solid 7.
Oh!
I feel like you'd have to see him in person. He's way hotter in person.
That's what I'm saying. Pictures. I don't look like my pictures.
Right.
I'm way better looking in person. So it's not a fair comparison because I don't know Eric.
Well, we'll just have to post a picture and then tag her in it.
I feel like you wanted me to score lower than Eric, and I'm
I
not
didn't.
sure how
No, I don't care.
You were surprised.
Why am I?
You were surprised.
Most people rate Eric higher.
They do. They haven't seen me naked. I get it.
We'll
Happens.
have Eric and Rain, and then it'll be a fair comparison.
Right.
Yeah, we can do a fair comparison.
Next time you come on, hopefully Eric.
Well,
will
we got to do the rate thing at the end of every episode. It's just part of
That's
it.
true. What would you rate Michelle?
I'm a 10.
Michelle is a 10.
Bam. Mike, drop. I would, but it'd be loud.
I'm never gonna win.
Nope.
I'm just the ugliest fucker on the fucking bunch.
She rated Eric a 7. Take your win.
What was a picture? Doesn't count.
Take your win.
Doesn't fucking count.
Take your win.
I can't. Awesome. Tonya, I'm glad your name's up there because I forgot it. Tonya, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on. I would love to come be a guest on your podcast.
Yes.
Or maybe both of us, or
You don't want to.
you got two separate guests right here. There you go.
Just yes, though, because you've both. Yes, I love it. I will reach out and coordinate that.
Yes.
Let's
Give me
make.
my first test, 2025.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
That'd be good.
Hey, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much. We're gonna let you go from here, and we will be reaching out to you, and we'll let you know when the episode comes out. And just let me know when you want me to come show my butthole on your podcast.
No, don't do it.
Thought you were going to say the dog's butthole, but
Oh well,
Sometimes rain throws us off guard.
yeah. My old chili ring.
thank you so much. I'm very excited for the episode. Sorry I rambled. So
Oh, you
feel
didn't
free
ramble
to
it.
cut what you need to
It was
cut.
fun. We learned a lot about you.
It was good.
I know. I mean, publisher, no editor.
You got the new That Stupid Dating Show most dates in a year record.
I'm so excited. That wasn't my intention, but maybe I'll break it. I'll see if I can go on 200 dates in
Jesus, yeah.
2025.
Wow.
I'm tired just thinking about it.
A lot of let down men.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know if there's 200 semi-quality men in North Carolina.
Well, the first 150
There's
you didn't
not.
seem to care because you just picked them all, right?
Yeah, no. Well, I did have some standards.
Well, yeah, you develop standards after 150 of them, I would hope.
Yeah.
I thank you so much.
Yes.
We'll be in contact and have a great night.
Okay.
Bye.
That was fun.
That was good.
That was a good time.
She was a good guest.
She really was.
I like her.
She was great.
I can't wait to follow up in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Let's see.
She was a lot of fun. This has been a lot of fun.
We have more guests. So many guests. So many
Yeah, you
guests.
showed me the whole list.
So many guests.
Are these? Oh, it is.
No, that's their question. This is.
Oh.
Calm down, sir. but still
Calm
just
down,
as
sir.
long.
Wasn't even getting crazy. Ninny?
Huh?
Ninny?
Yep, that's
Ninny?
what her Facebook name is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 34 single dad bodybuilder TikTok creator. Did he have a big following?
He's in that, I don't know, I haven't looked. He's in that weird group that we're in, that Ask Me Anything group or whatever.
Yeah.
And he had posted that, and I messaged him, and I was like, do you want to come on a podcast?
Did he respond?
He said he was going to check it out.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. She's a relationship, love, and life coach. He lives in Europe. He lives in Australia.
We do need a life coach. I don't think we've ever had one.
I don't think so either. And she says she's got a ton of funny stories to tell you.
We've had a dating coach. Did you ever listen to that one?
Which one was that?
I can't remember his name.
I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm back to the Nick episodes right now. I'm listening to the Nick episodes right now. So
we need Nick too.
we need
We've said
Nick.
that in
Nick,
like the
if
last
you're
4
listening,
episodes.
we
Yeah,
need you to
he's
come
probably
back
not.
on. Probably not, but
That's all right. I'll reach out to him.
yeah, he needs to come back on so we can do just a catch up.
All right. Well, might as well tell them about we're still looking for a bachelorette.
Yep. We still need a bachelorette for this dating game.
Yeah, we need. I didn't think it'd be this hard, but we're still looking for somebody. If you are a single woman in the Charlotte area, we are looking for you to come be on a dating game and find your next.
We're doing all the work for you. All you have to do is come on the show.
Yeah.
You don't even have to like the guy.
No.
Just grab a beer and go home.
You can say no to both of them.
Yeah, you can be like, y'all both suck.
But we will at least try to keep it within your standards.
Yeah.
We'll
find the guys. You just come on the show and let us do the rest.
There you go.
It could be love at first sight. It could be you might want to hit him in the face. I don't know. It's up to you.
Could be hate at first sight.
It could be.
That'd be
interesting.
Yeah.
We definitely have to do a follow-up on that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. That's been the Stupid Dating Show, and we are
out.
I'll let you do it by yourself.
You did it last time too. I knew you were
Did
going
I
to do
really?
that. Yes.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, you
we're
did it
out.
last time.
I got motion. When I'm popping out, it's big. Motion. When I'm in the club, it's big. Motion. When I hit the scene, it's big. Motion. All my big homies got motion. You know I'm sliding, I stay on the move. I get off up in the mix, that's how I find my groove. Got the tool and the jewel to feed you proper food. It's best to stay off in your lane when you copping to rock the roof.